What's up guys, Rogue9 here. With the new Operation Parabellum coming to Rainbow Six Siege, one of the things we're also going to see is our first map buff, this time for Clubhouse. The intention behind these map buffs is to take an existing map and improve it while making sure that the look and feel of the original map is kept intact. So in this video, I want to give you an overview of what will be changing on Clubhouse so that you can hit the ground running once the buffed version of the map goes live. Clubhouse, in terms of its balancing, has a few key weaknesses, specifically ones that make the game harder for defenders. Roof hatches make it quite easy to attack the second floor, and the fact that the building is split in two makes it very difficult for defenders to rotate. For Clubhouse in its current state, flanking is not really ever an option for defenders, and not only because of the issues on the second floor but also underground. Once you're in the cellar area, there are only two ways for defenders to rotate back up: the stairs and the ladder that leads back up into the workshop area. The problem with the ladder is that it is very easily blocked by the attackers using a claymore mine. As soon as that claymore goes down, there's almost no possibility for defenders to get back up that ladder. So the first key objective of this map buff was to allow the defenders more flexibility by making the map more cohesive and opening up new flanking routes. This objective has been achieved by removing three key choke points. First off, like I've already mentioned, the second floor, which used to be split in two, will now become one cohesive building with a new room in between the cache room and bedroom called construction. And it's so funny playing this for the first few times, because literally all it is one new room connecting these two separate buildings, or separate parts of the buildings from before, but everything feels so new, so different. When you're playing it for the first time, you feel completely lost, which is just such an odd feeling. Another change that makes this top floor far less dangerous for defenders is that some of the roof hatches have been removed while others have been moved to slightly different locations. So attackers will now no longer be able to simply climb up onto the roof, open up hatches and cut off vital rotation routes. Quite a few of the external windows have also been blocked off, which makes it harder for the attackers to get an easy line of sight into the objective rooms. Another key choke point that I mentioned is the lack of rotation routes out of the cellar. This has been addressed by adding a staircase that leads from the utility room, or blue tunnel as it's more commonly known, into the garage storage room. So with this staircase in place, attackers will no longer be able to cut off all rotations by controlling the main staircase and putting down a claymore in the garage. And last but not least, another choke point used to be the connection between the strip club and the bar. Before, these two parts of the building were only connected by a single doorway. Whoever controlled that doorway controlled the movement between those two parts of the building. This doorway has now been replaced by a soft wall, which defenders can then choose to either reinforce or blow open for a longer defensive angle. To the right and left of this wall, we will now have two extra doorways, one leading up to the pool table area, which has been closed off with walls and a door that can be put up by defenders, and the other door that leads to a brand new bathroom area. This bathroom will allow direct access to the kitchen hallway, bypassing the bar area altogether. Great for flanking defenders or for attackers that are trying to bypass the bar. The bar itself has also been changed. Instead of one large open room, we now have this room again split in two by walls with a door that can be closed by defenders should they wish to do so. For the most part, long-distance gunfights usually favor the attackers because they have weapons that are more powerful at longer ranges, and almost all of them have access to the ACOG attachment. So by dividing this huge open bar area into three parts, the pool table part, the middle part, and then the part towards the main entrance, defenders should find it much easier here to create short-distance gunfights rather than the long-range engagements from before. So those are the major changes that will be coming to Clubhouse, but that's not all. Since this is one of the launch maps, there are an awful lot of walls that lead to the outside that are breachable. And while that in and of itself is maybe not a problem, the problem is that all of these walls, if they're not reinforced, can be opened by any attacking operator simply by shooting holes in them. And this is also going to be addressed in the map buff. All of the breachable walls to the outside will still be there, but they will now be double layer and will contain the vertical wooden bars that can only be destroyed by explosives or shotguns. This again will make life somewhat easier for the defenders and a little more challenging for the attackers. Ladders are a dangerous obstacle both for attackers and defenders, so the ladder in the garage workshop that leads to the second floor has been removed and replaced by a staircase. Once you reach the top of this staircase, you will also find a new window on the far side wall besides the breachable wall from before. Throughout the map, you will also find other subtle changes that are designed to make the map more competitive and gunfights reliant less on luck and more on skill. For instance, in the past, you used to have some cover that was only partially bulletproof. So for instance, you used to have this mattress that is propped up in the main bedroom. The mattress itself is of course not bulletproof, so a lot of gunfights going through this mattress used to be decided more by luck than anything else. On the new buffed version of the map, this mattress has now been backed up by a metal plate, making it completely bulletproof. And the same concept has basically been applied to the server room as well, where you used to have half of the server rack bulletproof and half of it penetrable, which of course had a tendency to lead to an awful lot of messy gunfights. So overall, the new version of the map is going to be far better balanced and far more competitive, but that's still not where it stops. The Rainbow Six level artists also spent some time going over the entire map, adding in new visual details and polishing up new ones to make the whole map come to life a lot more. For instance, look at this area behind the ground floor bar. They've added all of these pictures of bikers, the bike itself has been spruced up a lot prettier, a lot more detailed. Or for instance, the police cars out front. Sure, this is Rainbow Six and everything really revolves about fighting inside of the target buildings, and the outside is kind of just a facade. But going back and adding far more detail to these rather plain police cars is again a lovely touch that makes the map so much nicer. So there you have it. Hopefully this little walkthrough will make it easier for you to be competitive on this map once it goes live in the main game. And I can tell you from having played it a couple of times, it's such a weird feeling to have a map that you know so well suddenly change in these little ways. What are your thoughts on this map buff, and are you looking forward to playing the new Clubhouse? Leave your comments in the comment section below, and with that, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next episode.